What's up, Ragin Nation? My name is Alex and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review, and in this video I'm going to review The Raid Redemption. And this is an international movie. It's from Indonesia. It's a little bit confusing because this movie has already come out in Indonesia, of course, and it's called The Raid. But they brought it to North American shores and they retitled it The Raid Redemption. And I think the reason why is because there's already a movie called The Raid, so they didn't want to confuse it. So this movie's called The Raid Redemption, and in no way it is a sequel to the original international movie, even though it says redemption, which kind of means like revenge, which is also more confusing because there is an American sequel to this Indonesian flick called The Raid Retaliation. But I'm not going to get into that. Let's review the movie, The Raid Redemption. And I saw the trailer for this movie and I wanted to watch it right away just because of all the hard-hitting martial arts action. And that is exactly what you get in this movie. It starts off a little bit slow. They have a little bit of time to develop. There's no big opening action sequence. We're introduced to the characters and the situation, and then bam, then we're in the apartment building, which is infested with all these. Of course, you got the crime lord, you got the drug dealers and pushers and all his minions, I guess, his goons. So these elite SWAT team members, they have to fight through like so many different floors to get to this boss, and it plays kind of like a video game. So anyways, the main thing that I want to cover is how was the action? Just because the story is really simple, but I won't lie to you, there are some twists in this movie. It's not anything huge, but it still keeps you engaged just because you want to know why they're up there. There's actually a bigger reason, but I'm not going to tell you, of course. Now, about the characters, you got, what's his name? Iko Uwais, who plays Rama, who's the main character, who is in some of the most amazing martial arts sequences I've ever seen on the big screen. This guy's amazing. He's kind of like an Indonesian Tony Jaa, but a little less Muay Thai. I like that this movie just gives you just enough characterization, character development, just enough for you to care about the character. Okay, and that's really important because I've seen totally action-driven movies, but I do not care about the story and I don't care about the characters, thus making the action all meaningless, pointless, and just totally lifeless. Like, I don't care who wins or loses, I'm just there to see what happens, and then I just go, man, you know what I'm saying? So, but this movie, even though the action is spectacular and the movie is totally action-driven, they just give you just the right amount of character and depth, just enough for you to care for this character. And it is great because you have a great character, not totally extraordinary, but you have a great enough character. A character is good enough for you to want to root for him, and you want to know if he can survive all these fights and how he does it. And the way he does it is delivered in some amazing action sequences. I thought there's going to be these huge gaps between every action sequence just for him to like just kind of rest up, right, and recover, but it's quite non-stop, and it is really violent, and it's just action-packed because the movie doesn't let up. Once the martial arts fighting starts, it doesn't stop, and the whole time I'm just figuring out, how does he have so much energy? The guy's just been through like so many different fights, and not just fighting one guy, but fighting like 10 guys, and this is very different from what you've seen like from Jackie Chan or Jet Li. I think he's you know, some people might hate me for this, but I'm gonna tell you that this guy is better than a lot of movies that Jet Li and Jackie Chan have produced or starred in, rather, in Hollywood. Okay, this movie is better than all of that Hollywood crap that Jackie Chan and Jet Li have made, just because it's so raw. You know, it is so hard-hitting. There's movies like Unleashed and Kiss of the Dragon from Jet Li. Those movies got nothing on The Raid Redemption just because the fights are so real and so brutal. You really just see how he just unleashes on all these bad guys. There's some really memorable fight scenes just because it not only includes great choreography, but it's also not for the squeamish. So there's some pretty nasty knife fights that happen. The fights just go long. They go really long, and it gets to the point where it's almost mind-numbing. What I mean by that is that you're just thinking, okay, they're fighting for a really long time. I'm just about had enough. But it just reaches that border, you know? It's a fine line between too much and just enough, all right? And it is just just enough. It's really entertaining. The only thing that I find is strange is how he walks away from every fight like feeling like nothing happened. But he is the main character of the movie, so therefore they need to have him, you know, healthy enough for the next fight. This is more on the level of Donnie Yen stuff, just because it's more realistic. It's more like traditional Hong Kong style, like Hong Kong cinema back in the 80s, you know, when people actually did nasty stunts where people actually got hurt. It's that kind of filmmaking where it's just raw. People just get hurt. You feel the hits and you just go ooh when you see these bad things happen to people, because it's bone breaking, it's skull crushing, it's things like that. So highly recommend this movie. Once again, like I said, this is a very action driven piece, so it's all about the visuals, okay? But don't get me wrong, because the story is decent and the characters are just good enough that you care about them. So they haven't thrown all that out the door just to make time for action. It's not about that. What I'm trying to say is that they have a great balance of the visuals and the characters and story, and that's all you really need, because like I said before, if your characters and story are not decent enough, then none of your action matters. It just doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless. So, but they found that balance, and I have to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Highly recommended. You gotta check it out, especially if you're an action fan, martial arts movie buff, or anything like that. This is an action fan's dream. Check it out. My name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching Ragin Ronin Review. I'll see you next time. Peace. Because I was and then the lady beside me said like, are you gonna be okay?